Whoa. Okay, so I believe you are understanding everything up to this point, and don't forget to ask me questions, engage me on the channel. I am always available to help you. My vision here is to help you to learn how to, use Flask very, very well. So if you don't understand anything, just leave your questions as comments on the video, and I promise you I am going to reply as soon as possible. There is no question that is going to go unanswered on my channel. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so let me consult the slide to know what we are doing now. Okay, so we have done what is Flask, installing Flask, creating a Flask application, registering route and route handlers, starting a Flask application, and what is left now for us is to learn how to configure our server to run in debug mode, how to change the application port and the server host that we are tied to. That is the mission for this video. Once that is done, we are done and we'll move on to another thing altogether. So I told you earlier on that this app.run is what starts the inbuilt server in Flask. That is what I have never been able to pronounce, Wexeg or whatever it is. Now, there is a way you can change the port on which the server runs. By default, it runs on port 5000. But the question is, what if port 5000 on your system is already taken? Does that mean Flask is not going to be able to run? And the answer is a big no. Why? The reason being that you can pass a port as a parameter to app.run, and the server is now going to start on that port. I'm going to change this and I'm going to run it on which port. Let's say port 8500. Just make sure you choose a port that is not used by any well-known service, or a port that you know you are not using in other applications. Basically, that is what you have to do. So with the port changed, I'm going to save the file, and then I would have to kill this server to restart it because I have changed the port. So I kill it by pressing Ctrl C, and then I will start it again by typing python app.py. Now you can see that it is running on a different port. Look at it. It is running on localhost 8500. So what it means is, if I go to the web app and I try to access it on port 5000, unable to connect. This is something the browser is showing you. It's telling you that, dude, you are asking me to visit localhost port 5000 and there is nothing running there. But the moment you change the port number here to what you set in your code, ta-da, then you are able to access your server. So this is some of the flexibilities that Flask gives you. Okay, so now we know how to change the port. What else can we change? I spoke of debug mode, and I am going to say debug is equal to true. Now, if I say debug is equal to true, it means that I am running the server in debug mode. When we started the server, it said you are using the production environment, okay? But once you start it in debug mode and you see that it has written debug mode turned off. What is debug mode? In debug mode, the server is going to spit out error messages into the browser, and it will actually give you a console in the browser that you can use to execute commands against your server. And this is too much power to put in the hands of your users in production. So always remember to turn off debug mode when you are deploying your service for people to access it. It is cool to leave it on, and you must leave it on during development so that you see detailed error messages and what is causing problems for you. The line numbers is actually going to spit the stack trace into the browser. And the most powerful effect is it is going to give you a console in the browser that you can use to execute Python code. You don't want to give that power to your users, just in case there is a programmer out there who is using your service and you forgot to turn off debug mode and he got access to a Python console in the browser. You have no idea the damage that he can cause to your service. So always remember, turn on debug mode during development, and remember to turn it off when you are deploying for production use. So I'm going to quit the server, Control C, and I'm going to run again. And then once you see that it is now saying debug mode is on, debug mode is on, what it means is that if there is any error, it's going to spit it out in the browser, and it can even give you access to the console. Let me put in some artificial error here, and you see the good thing about running in debug mode. It has caught that I have an error on line 12. So what is it telling me? End of line while scanning string literal. What it means is that it is thinking good evening is a string. It saw a start quote, but it is not seeing an end quote. And the server actually have crashed. I think there's an improvement they have done in Flask that I am yet to see, because this is a very beautiful thing. In the past, it will you would run it and then you just come here and you see that nothing is happening, but this time it's actually caught it before even starting the server. And the beautiful thing about running in debug mode is that anytime you make a change to your file, for as long as your server was running previously, it will restart. So now the error we got actually crashed the server, so there's no restart. But I'm going to start it now, and let's change this to maybe good afternoon, something like that. You can see that the moment I saved the file, the server restarted itself. I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to change this to good morning or morgen in German. And the moment I save, I'll quickly swipe to the terminal and you see it restarting. So you see, it says detected change in, then it will put the path to the file, and then it will reload it. So this is also one advantage you get for running in debug mode, because when you are developing, you don't want to keep killing your server and restarting. It's too much pain to do that. But since you have a debug mode, you can turn on so that the server automatically restart. So what happens is when you turn on debug mode, the server listens for file changes, and once it realizes that a file has changed, then it is going to restart the server, so that when you visit your browser, you are going to get the latest code changes that you made showing up in the browser. Another thing that we can configure is host. So the host is what you use to specify the IP address that you want to bind the server to. There are some computers that have multiple network interfaces, and therefore they have multiple IP addresses if they are connected to different networks at the same time. And you might want to make it available on one IP address and not on the other. So you can specify the IP address in here. But what we usually use the host parameter for is to start our server on 0.0.0.0. This is what makes your application reachable from the outside world. So in this case, if I had another computer, let me come here, call my server, and then I will check my IP address using ifconfig, and then I'll try to grab 192.168. Okay, so currently my IP address is 192.168.178.52 on my network at home. If I had another computer and I want to access my server from that computer, if I go to the browser and I type localhost, it's not going to work because the server is not running on that other computer. But once I know my IP address and I am running on host 0.0.0.0, if I put in my IP address colon, so let me actually demonstrate that. Unfortunately, I don't have two laptops that I can share the screen from, but so I'm running it here, and then if I came here, I said http colon slash slash my IP address colon 8500 on that other computer, and I hit enter. You see, this is working because my IP address knows how to reach itself. But if you did it on another computer, then you get this UI, this your web application showing up there. But if you didn't run it with host 0.0.0.0, you will not be able to access it from the outside world. So basically, these are some of the configurations that we can change, we can play around with when we are starting the Flask server. And uh, I think this is good enough for you to know. You have to know it off head, know that you can change the ports, you can run in debug mode, and you can also set the host on which you want it to listen. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave your comment, and then share for other people to have access to this resource to learn awesome Flask. Thank you once again, and I will see you. Bye bye.